Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Sumit Balan and I'm a digital chess coach. It's been a while since I posted something on YouTube and I was busy with a lot of other things. So I thought I'll post something interesting for all of you. So this is a game analysis. This game was played yesterday in a local tournament. It was a rapid tournament. It was a one-day tournament and this is from the fifth round, and it's a pretty interesting game. I've won all the four games, and it was a seven-round tournament. So if I win this game, I'll be leading the tournament, and very good chances of winning the tournament. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. So let's analyze the game. The game started with e4, and I play the French defense e6 and b3. This is a sideline, very interesting sideline. White hopes to develop the bishop to b2 and castle queenside and create some attack. So I played d5 and bishop to b2 and knight to f6. You can take the pawn previously, but that leads to a very sharp position. And I thought I'll play a very typical French position, which I know very well. So e5, knight d7, d4, typical French moves. c5, c3, knight c6, knight f3, f6. This is a typical break in the French defense. Undermining the pawn on e5. White has to take it. Queen takes. Bishop b5, putting pressure on the c6 knight and indirectly relieving the pressure from the d4 pawn. So bishop d6, castle, knight d2. So this is actually a reminiscent of a French Tarrasch variation, where the bishop on b2 is a little misplaced and the bishop on b5 is also a little misplaced. So I played a6, so he had to take here, and the position would have been roughly equal with a slight advantage for black. Bishop d3. This is already a mistake, I believe. I think he should have taken on c6. Otherwise, why did you play bishop to b5? Takes, and I played the typical break. And after this, black is completely fine. Black has equalized and even took over the initiative. Took, and here it was important to take on e5. And the position would have been slightly advantageous for black, but nothing critical. But my opponent played queen to b1, thinking that okay, he has to defend this bishop, and there is a discovery coming, and this bishop is loose because of knight to f3 check. So he wanted to protect this bishop and also this right squared bishop as well. That's why he played queen to b1. Queen c2 was possible, but it will run to knight to b4, and the piece on e3 will be. But this is again a mistake because of the following combination. Queen h6, good move, putting pressure on the h2 pawn. I already saw the sacrifice on f3. Rook e1, knight takes, and rook takes f3. This is what I saw in my combination. But gf3, and there are many moves to win this in this position. You can play bishop to h3 here, and that leads to complications which will create winning chances for black. For example, bishop h3. If he plays bishop to f1, for example, then queen g5, king h1, and queen f4 wins because of the mate on h2. So that is one variation. So he has to give up bishop on h7, and after all the trades, black has got two bishops for a rook, or two minor pieces for a rook, and that is a completely winning endgame. That was one possibility, but I played the very natural queen takes h2, which was the most normal move in the position. King h1 and bishop h3. This is what I saw. King a2 and rook e8 check. But rook e8 check was a good move actually. That would have won the game, and computer suggested bishop to g2 with the idea of putting pressure on f3, and then a lot of variations actually win for white because, for example, bishop c3. Now you can play knight to e5, king d2, and the exchange, you can get back the exchange with interest. King d1, for example, then it leads to bishop f3 check, king c2, then queen f2 check, king c1, and bishop a3 check, and rook on e1 is lost. So this is the only move I think is bishop to e2, and this is a completely lost position. So even if he plays king to c1, bishop a3 check is critical. Bishop p2, and now knight d3, queen d3, and queen f2. If bishop a3 check, then rook c8 check wins. King to b1 and queen e1 check, and white will get checkmated. Let's go back. So here black has to play. So if he plays bishop takes e5, for example, then queen e5 check, king d2, bishop b4 check, king c1, then queen e1 check here, and queen c3 checkmate. If king to c2, then queen d2 checkmate. So that is how critical it is. So you cannot take the knights. So you have to play bishop h7 and king h8, and you have to protect the f3 pawn somehow by playing bishop to e4. And after d takes e4, queen takes is lost. So why would you play in this position? You can play king to d2, for example, but it will run to knight f3 check, and king c2, rook c8, and this is completely hopeless. Let's go back. So rook g2 wins, but here rook e8 also wins actually. For example, king d1, rook e1 check, king e1, king takes e1, and the same knight e5 trick actually wins. For example, king d1 and queen f2, and the seventh rank is controlled, and a lot of bad things will happen. You cannot take on here because the bishop takes and the rook is lost. You have very active two bishops. The rook is completely out of play. The queen is out of play. Queen c2, then it will run to queen f3 check, bishop e2, queen check, king e2, and you can even play bishop f4 check, king d3, bishop f5 check, and white is completely lost. So I'll show you what I played in this position. I was thinking, okay, I'll play this check, and I don't have enough pieces to checkmate the white king. So I played bishop to g3, which was a blunder. So why it's a blunder? Because of this bishop h7 check, and I didn't see bishop g7, and have to take it. After queen g6, queen g3, and I will lose material because of queen g3, pawn takes g3, king h, king takes h7, h1, king g7, h3. And I have an exchange down and the black and a pawn down, and white has got two pass pawns. It's simply resignable position. So I resigned and I lost the game. But what I want to show you is that you have to calculate precisely. Even if your intuition is right, you cannot relax and think that your position play will play itself. And sometimes your intuition is right actually, because my intuition told me that rook e8 actually wins. But then I started to think and played a blunder. So unfortunately, I lost the game. I lost the next game as well, and I finished. I won the last game, but I finished 8th in the tournament. If I had won this game, probably I would have finished first or second. So that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. It will help me immensely to grow my channel. So until next time, bye bye.